Congratulations to Jared Verse, the Defensive Player of the Year rookie.
Congratulations to him, Braden Fiske for being in that same category or that same group. Les Snead, Sean McVay.
Yep.
Third Ram to do it.
Chris Shula, yes, everybody involved in that. The entire defense, yes, big deal.
Tell me this isn't the dream come true of every front office, which is this. We're going to use our draft capital to go out and get players like Jalen Ramsey. We're going to go out and get draft capital to get a player like Jared Goff, or to get Jared Goff, to go out and get Matthew Stafford, right? Here's first-round picks to go get really good players, Von Miller. And it worked, right?
You mean the F them picks era?
Yeah. And it results in a Super Bowl winning team.
Yeah.
And you go, nearly 10 years without drafting in the first round, and then you're up. And then during the entire F them picks era, you're picking, in the later rounds, and you're finding players like, Puka Nacua. You're finding players like Kyron Williams. You're finding guys like Bo Limmer. Cooper Kupp that are impactful players. And then you finally get back in the first round, and you pick the best defensive player in the whole league as a rookie.
Incredible.
That's a dream come true, right?
It is. The entire scouting department, I don't know how to say this. You have to give them credit, too. And we give a lot of credit to McVay and to the coaching staff for what they do to develop players. But you got to give these guys credit for finding the right guys, identifying who might be the right guys for your building. You know what I mean? So when you meet Jared Verse, when you see him on tape, that's the one thing. You see a wrecking machine. You see a lot of guys that are wrecking machines. And then you meet him, and you realize he's a little bit different than everyone else. The way he answers questions, the way he looks you right in the eye. These are things you want to have in your locker room. From day one, he can help your culture. Not just the guy you have to hope bends to your culture. He can help set your culture.
Exactly.
Identifying those guys has been huge, and it happens to me once in a blue moon when I'll walk by McVay and go, dang, you're pretty good at this. Like, duh. Same thing with Les Snead. Yeah. And you see the guys he brings in and how he has an eye for talent. Like, Les, I know you don't say a whole lot, but dang, you're pretty good at what you do.
Nobody's going to bat 1,000 in that game.
Yeah.
Right? You're going to miss a few. But you want to miss fewer than the average, and the Rams exceed that by a mile.
Big time.
They miss way fewer than most.
They haven't brought in a lot of toothaches. They used to.
No.
They haven't brought in a lot of toothaches.
No, and the toothache thing goes with what you were talking about, the for-your building thing. That's not – you have to know what your building is.
Yeah.
Right? Some places are just, he's a great player. It'll work out. Well, he might be a great player, but if you've got some guys in there that are toothaches and a guy that's on the fence, put him next to Aaron Donald, he's going to fall the right way.
Yeah.
Put him next to a guy that's a toothache, he might fall the wrong way.
Definitely.
And you need to understand what your building is, and if maybe you do have bad guys in the building, but you know that this guy isn't on the fence. He's one of the good ones, right?
Yeah.
You can bring him in and start to try to rebuild that culture, but understanding what you're looking for and what you have is essential.
Yes. The personality matches the talent, matches our building, take the guy. And I think you were blessed or smart enough. Either one works. You got Verse, no-brainer. Then you got Fiske right after. Just kind of felt he, or like you
they moved up to get him.
You identified that talent more than someone else, or like this together.
Do you remember the chatter when they went up to get Fiske?
I know, it was a mess.
It was they overpaid.
It was a mess.
They moved up. They spent way too much.
Yes.
That's an overpay.
I know.
Well,
there you go. And the future's looking bright. But both guys, getting them here, give the scouting department, coaching staff a lot of credit, but give those two players
heck yeah,
a ton of credit.
Heck yeah,
for wanting it. Wanting to know how to get better and already being something special from day one.
What's the ceiling for Jared Verse? Is it all pro? Is it DPOY? Like what is it?
I always thought my comp would be Myles Garrett. I know that's a mile. Wow. That's a long ways away. You're talking about double digits for 8 straight years. That's a different deal. But that size, speed to power, work on your technique, you can be that dominant. You can be. Run and pass. That's why I say Myles Garrett. Braden Fiske, same thing. It depends on how you want to use him. At some point, he's going to be the everyday starter, which means you're going to have to pace yourself. That's going to be a little bit different. But if you can use him the way you're using him, use him for his quickness off the bench or in spot duty, let him rest the passer, that's 10 sacks a year with those two guys.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
So,
absolutely.
What's the ceiling? It's a defensive player of the year. It's a borderline Hall of Famer, right?
Yeah.
Like Myles Garrett's very likely going to end up in the Hall of Fame.
Well, yeah.
And Myles Garrett has been a defensive player of the year. Myles Garrett is an all-pro.
Yeah.
Like that if that is the ceiling, my God.
Keep running. I mean, keep working towards your craft. This is what I mean. There's plenty of guys out there. They do all these pass rush summits now. Von Miller, I think, has one. Go there. Go talk with people. Work on your technique. You've got the power.
Yeah.
You've got the strength. You've got
Is that
the one-two.
if you were kind of looking at is it technique?
Absolutely.
Because he's strong enough, fast enough, big enough.
Go seek him out, man.
Yeah.
You have to. You're special. You're different. You're rookie of the year.
How much of the technique will come along with that? Like you're saying, go look for it, find it, and how much of it will come with just playing more?
For Jared Verse,
yeah,
he played a lot.
No. I'm just saying that he's played a lot, but I'm not saying play more snaps per game. I'm saying year 3 will be better than year 2. Year 5 will be better than year 3. Just being in the league, the experience you accumulate
the more
through
reps.
the time of being in it.
The more you see, the more that you can't be fooled by.
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing.
Right.
And he's seen a lot this year, and it's only going to make him better for year 2 and 3. But just the technique stuff, how to pace yourself, go clinic with Strahan.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Go learn some stuff.
It seemed like he was better at that at the end than he was at the middle and the beginning.
What do you mean?
The stuff that you were just describing, the pacing, the stuff, the fooling, getting fooled. Like, okay, that got me this time, but it didn't get him the next time.
You know, I was thinking about this because Sterling Sharp got in. You know, he was my first tackle in the NFL.
Sterling Sharp
my
was
first registered
Hall of
tackle
Famer.
was Sterling Sharp.
There you
He
go.
caught a slant, high red zone. The only thing in front of him was the goalpost. He never saw me coming. I didn't blow him up. It was my first tackle, enough to where he looked me right in the eye like, where did you come from?
Okay.
Right. One of those dudes. Yeah. Crazy thing. But just thinking about him and his journey and that play for me, I was going so fast on that play because I was a backup. I was in there to be the microwave. It was not sustainable as a starter.
Yeah.
If I was the starter, they'd score in 2 plays. I'd be so tired.
Yeah.
Jared Verse, same thing. Early in the season, you're all over the place missing tackles. Just pace yourself.
It's just doing what I don't care what it is you do.
Yeah.
Drive a truck.
Yeah.
Run an accounting office. Talking on the radio. Playing football. Being a doc. Once you've done something 1,000 times, you know what you didn't know.
Yeah.
Somebody can tell you, hey, don't do this. Yeah, but until you start to mess it up and you're like, oh, that doesn't work.
But then with him, the way he is now, and I'm just guessing because I've kind of been there, but he's a special athlete. The way he's feeling now after this year, right? I keep saying this. If I could go back and talk to my 23-year-old self and tell him everything, do this, don't do this, give him the sports almanac from Back to the Future, it wouldn't matter. You know why? I wouldn't listen to you anyway. That's what I'm saying.
Look,
right.
Young people are young people.
Yes.
And there's a ton of great stuff that comes along with that, and there's some stuff that you just got to learn the hard way.
But he wants to be great, and that's what you love. Both of them do. Yes.